Welcome to Yoga for You. With your host, Ana del Rosal, certified yoga teacher. Yoga is not a substitute for medical attention, examination, diagnosis, or treatment. Please check with your doctor before beginning any exercise regimen, especially if you recently had surgery, are pregnant, or postnatal. If at any moment something doesn't feel right, please stop. It's important to listen to your body. I will provide detailed instruction as you move in and out of poses to ensure your safety. If you have any questions, contact your local yoga teacher or studio. Thank you for tuning in. Have a blessed day. Welcome to Yoga for You with Ana. So the focus of today's class is going to be on hip stability, so balancing, and it really comes from the glute medius, which are these more lateral muscles. And so when our hips are unstable, you'll notice that either one hip is higher than the other, or walking is funny. It can actually create a lot of pain. So it's sometimes our pain in our hips is actually more due to a weakness versus a muscle being tight. So let's get on our backs. And we'll start there. We'll do a little lower glute strengthening first. So come on to your backs with your knees bent. Okay. And just make sure that the back of your neck is long, that you're not jutting your chin up. Arms down by your side. Feet are hip width apart and basically in line with your knees, so they're not wide, but they're down. They're in line, so you can't see your feet from the side. So take a deep breath here. Exhale it out. Good. And all you're going to do is you're just going to lift your hips a tiny bit. And I want you to think of scooping that tailbone towards your knees. So essentially, it's just enough so that you can slide your hand underneath your bottom. And you're going to start to feel where the hamstring and the glute attach. Press into your feet. Make sure you're not lifting your feet. And take 3 more breaths here. So you'll probably start feeling that lower glute max, the lower part of your bottom engaging. Good. And then slowly come on down. And just take 1 breath here. And we'll do that same thing. So press down through your feet. Lift the hips, scoop. So again, find that little low lift. So you're finding the engagement of the hamstrings and these lower glutes. And then keeping that, I want you to lift from the hamstrings and the glutes. So you're finding that lower glute. You're not clenching the butt or your bottom, but you're letting the muscles around the sacrum be sort of, they're going to engage a little bit, but I don't want them to be clenching so tight that it actually makes things worse. So really press into your feet, lengthen that tailbone. Take 2 more breaths here. Exhaling out. Good, another full breath. Inhaling, press down through your shoulders. And then exhale, roll down. Good, so this next one we're going to add in some marches. So take a full breath. So we're going to be testing the stability of the hips when you're up in the bridge. So inhale here. Exhale, lift the hips a tiny bit. Scoop your tailbone towards your knees. That helps you find that engagement of the hamstrings and the glutes. And then slowly come on up. Good. And I want you to be more from one straight line from your knees to your shoulders. I don't want you to be pushing the belly up, but I want you to be nice and long and hug the abdominals in. Press down through your arms. So your arms here are part of that stability. Wiggle, bring that right foot into the middle. And then you're going to lift the left knee up and lower. And lift. So as you're doing this, I want you to keep your hips level. You're not dumping into one hip or dropping one hip. So one hip, they're staying level. They're not dropping from side to side. So you really need to press into your standing leg. Stay connected to your breath. And just take 3 more of these. So really press into the heel, last one. And as you lower the leg, try to keep your hips level. Good. Transfer your weight now to the left foot or the other foot if you did the left leg. And lift and lower. So you're trying to keep your hips as still as possible. You can bring your hands there if you need to, just for that guidance. But think of hugging that, especially with this standing leg. Hug that hip in. And let's take 3 more. 2. And 1 more. Good. And then again, lower. Try to keep the hips level. And then roll down. And just arch your low back a little bit there. Hug your knees in so you flatten your back, lengthening that back. And just take 2 breaths. Good. 1 more breath. Good. And let's stretch the hamstrings. So keep that right knee hugged in. Left leg goes straight out. And you're going to straighten that right leg. Point flex a couple of times. You can circle the foot. So sometimes our hamstrings are tight because the low back is weak. And just take another breath here. We're going to actually think of stretching more the inner thighs, the adductors, and those tend to kick in when some other muscle in the hip joint isn't working. And then we're also going to stretch out the TFL, which is this little muscle. It's a pocket, it attaches to the IT band, and that ends up acting as a big stabilizer when the glutes are weak. So from here, first we're going to open the leg out to the right. So here you're getting the inner thigh stretch. And make sure that you don't pop this left hip up, because all you're doing then is twisting through your spine. I want you to keep the hips down and get more of the stretch through the inner thigh. And you can feel free to hold anywhere you want. If you need to bend the knee, feel free, or grab a towel and use a towel to wrap around the foot. Good. 1 more breath. And then inhale, come up. So now to get to IT band stretch, all you're going to do is you're going to turn your right toe towards your left shoulder. So you're getting this internal rotation in the leg. And then you're going to draw the toe up towards your shoulder. So you're not going all the way over midline. It's a very small stretch, but you'll get that IT band, the lateral thigh, this part. So for all you runners out there, this might be a really nice stretch for you. Good. Take 1 more breath. And then come down, come through center, lower the right leg, and hug that left knee in, please. So we'll do the same couple stretches. You can circle, extend that left leg up, point flex here, circle the ankle, just releasing that ankle joint and drawing the leg in. So first, just getting all those hamstrings. There's 3 different hamstring heads. And then you can bring your right hand to your right hip, open the leg out to the left. So again, make sure that you're not popping the hip up. So it's not important about bringing the foot towards the floor here, but it's more, you want to think about getting that inner thigh stretch. Good. 1 more breath. And then inhale, come up through center. Now, you turn the toes towards that right shoulder and then cross the leg just over the midline. So it's moving up towards the right shoulder. So again, now you're getting this stretch, this lateral stretch here through the leg. 2 more breaths. Good. And then come back through center and hug the knees in. We're going to actually come up to stand. So just roll over to one side and come on up. And I just want you to come into a forward fold. So feet are hip width apart, knees are bent. And just bend the knees here for a brief moment. I want you to just check in. Where are you placing the weight on your feet? Are you forward on your toes, on your heels, more on the lateral edges or the inner edges of the feet? And then just lift the toes and place equal weight through all of your foot. And then relax the toes. Good. 1 more breath here. And then you're going to bend your knees and you're going to come into a chair position. So actually wiggle your feet together. No, keep your feet a little further apart. That's a little bit more stabilizing. Chest is lifted, belly's drawn in. So it's like you're hugging your abdominals in or wearing a corset. And your weight's back into your heels. That helps you get a little out of your quads. Your quads will burn here, but I just want you to focus more on getting the glutes and the hamstrings engaged. And we're going to do a little bit of a skater action. You're going to balance on your right leg. Your right leg is this one. And you're going to tap the left toe out and in. So it's out and in. So as you go out, you're not really placing too much weight onto that leg that's moving. It's all centered on this one stabilizing leg. And just make sure the knee is coming over the second and third toes. It hasn't wobbled in. And here you're keeping your hips still again. So all the action is just coming from this leg moving out and in. So you'll be getting that glute med. You'll be getting the glute med on the other side to help stabilize the hips. And let's do 2 more. Good. And then come in and let's switch sides. So now transfer your weight to your left leg. Really press into that left heel. Pull the belly in. Lift your heart and tap. Good. So again, try to keep those hips stable so you're not wobbling here. And you're just moving the leg in and out. And the weight is into the heel. Let's do 4 more. Make sure the placement of the knee is over the second and third toe and hasn't wobbled in or out. Good. And then come all the way up to stand. Ooh, I'm like, I'm feeling that. Hopefully you are too. So come to stand at the front of your mat. Feet are hip width apart. We're going to come into a tree, so balancing pose here. Standing on your right leg. Hug the inner thighs towards each other so you actually feel the outer glutes engage. And then bring your left foot either to your ankle, your shin, or to your inner thigh. And then hands to prayer. So here I want you to push the leg, that standing leg, into the foot and then resist with that balance, the foot that's in the thigh or the shin. So you're really squeezing your hips together. You haven't dumped, you haven't dropped either hip. So they're level. Take 1 more breath. Okay, we're going to do a slightly different transition here. So you're going to bring that left knee forward, and you're going to step it all the way back, about 3.5, 4 feet apart, and you're going to come into Warrior 2. So palms face up, which is a little nicer for the shoulders. Relax the shoulders down, and you're bending this front knee. Again, make sure that the knee isn't coming in. It's more over that second and third toe. And then here for a moment, I want you to just bend that back knee and straighten the leg. So you'll feel these outer glutes engage. 2 more breaths. 1 more full breath, please. Good, then inhale, straighten the front leg. And we're just going to come into triangle. So this front thigh is externally rotating, so it's going back. And then arm up. So if your triangle keeps you more around your knee, feel free to stay there. If you have more flexibility, come here. But if you find that you need to reach and you're bringing your chest forward, back up and come up a little higher. Good, 1 more breath. And then press down to your feet, come all the way up to stand, and then step to the front of your mat. So we'll do the other side. So standing, we're going to bring all our weight to that left leg now. So really, you can bend this knee a little bit, and then right foot to the ankle, the shin, or the inner thigh. And I just realized you'll see my backside, but maybe that might be nice just to get the understanding of where things are in placement. Lift up through your low belly. And that left hip hugs in. So you're not in this mommy shelf hip, like hanging out with your baby on your hip. Draw that hip in underneath your shoulders. Take 1 more breath here. Good. So bring that right knee forward. You can bend the left knee, and you're going to swing that right leg back. So now you'll get this back angle. So again, your knee is not wobbling into the middle. It's staying over that second, third toe. Arms up. Bend the back knee. And then as you straighten, you want to engage this right glute a little bit more. And make sure you're not hyperextending the back knee. Shoulders soft. And you're just gazing over your front hand. Good, take another full breath. And then straighten the front leg. So press into that left heel to straighten the leg. And then you're going to reach out. So hand wherever it lands. Again, if your bottom is swinging out behind you, just to reach the floor, slide your hand up your leg a little bit. So you're imagining like you're sliding your body between two panes of glass. Or if your back was up against the wall, everything would be touching. 2 more breaths. Good. And then come all the way up. Step your back foot forward and stand on the front of the mat. Okay, let's do a goddess pose. So turn your feet out about 45 degrees and bend your knees. Hands to prayer. And from here, so if you need to come up a little shorter stance, feel free. It's going to depend on that flexibility in the hips. And first, I just want you to sway side to side. This will help get the femurs a little deeper into that hip socket and start releasing the hips. So this is actually, we create stability by really having so imagine this is the head of the femur and this is the hip socket. The more that femur head is in the hip socket, the more stability we have. So this is actually the most stable position for our hips. So just come to sit in the middle. Again, make sure that the knees aren't coming in. Press the knees open so you're getting an inner thigh stretch and you're engaging those outer glutes. Belly in, shoulders soft. Take 2 more breaths here. And just 1 more full breath, please. Good. Press into the heels, parallel your feet, and we'll fold forward here. Hands to the floor, your ankles. Inhale, look up. And exhale, bow. So now you're just really getting that stretch to the hamstrings, the outer thighs. Soften the shoulders, move away from the ears. Let your head dangle. Good, 1 more breath. And then inhale, come up. We'll do 1 more standing pose, so come all the way up to stand. Turn your right toes out, left toes in. So we're going to come into side angle pose. Arms up, palms face up. Inhale here. Exhale, hinge forward. And I want you actually to grab the shin with your hand. So you're pressing that the knee open, so you feel the outer glutes engage, and just have that right arm up. Now with that back knee, you're going to bend the knee and then re-straighten the leg so you feel that glute engage. So again, you bend that knee, press into your foot, straighten the leg so you feel the glute engage. It actually draws your tailbone towards that left heel. Good, take another breath. And then press down through your legs, come all the way up, and we'll switch sides. So pivot to face the other way. Bend that left knee. Reach forward. Left hand grabs the shin, so you draw the knee open. It helps engage the outer glute. And then just keep your hand on your hip here. Bend the back knee. Press into the foot to straighten. 1 more time. Bend that back knee. And as you press, engage that glute. So you have the stability here from both glutes to help you stay in this angle. Arm up. And just lean back. So it's also with that hand pressing into the shin helps you lean back a little bit more. Good. Take another full breath. And then inhale, come all the way up. Good. And then pivot your feet, walk your feet in. Let's come to the ground. Let's do a simple twist just to release the back and the outer glutes and the low back. So come on. Knees into your chest, please. Just give them a little hug. Good. Arms out to the side. You're going to drop both knees over to the left. And you're trying to bring those knees up as close as you can to your underarm. And then stack the knees. So your top knee, if you're twisting to the left, that right knee should be over the left. You don't want to be here. You want to have them on top. And the reason for that is that when our knees aren't level, The twist is then happening through the sacrum, so that can create sacral issues. Right now with the knees stacked, we're stretching, the twist is coming through the thoracic spine, so we're getting the twist and the stretch through the spine. Take another full breath. And then come up. And let's switch sides. So drop the knees to the other side. Again, make sure that the knees are stacking, so that left knee is coming on top of the right. So maybe here's a better way to see. If I bring that left knee down, and if I bring my hand to my sacrum, it's sort of on this angle. But the minute I stack my knees, my hips are stacked, and now the twist happens through the spine. And you can just try that. See how it feels to bring that top leg over. And then release it and just see where the twist is coming from. Take another breath. Good, and then come up through center. Hug the knees in for a moment. And I'll do a quick Shavasana, just extend the legs out. But if you feel like you want a little bit more, feel free to hang out. And just soften through your breath, your body. So I'm going to get up, and if you are short on time and you feel like you're ready to move, just wiggle your fingers and your toes. And extend your arms overhead. And then hug your knees in. Just rolling to one side. Feel free to stay here if you feel like you want a little bit more. And then come on up to sit. Finding a comfortable seat. And just close your eyes. And just take a moment to find your breath. And just take a moment to think of one thing that you're grateful for. And thank you for tuning in. Have a blessed day. Namaste.